Welcome, everybody, to Addicted to Miracles. I'm Chrissy Fitzgerald. You can find me at addictedtomiracles.com. Today, I wanted to talk about the idea of having an alter personality or an alter identity, and how we can have a fairly developed identity that is separate from who we truly are. So that brings up a lot of things, like, so who am I really? And then who did I have to become? Who have I become? Who or what have I become? So what if I started to alter myself in ways that are no longer useful for me? What if I've become trapped into some alter personality that is creating a lot of pain and suffering and destruction in my life today? What if I needed to do that, but now that very thing that I needed to do and what I needed to be before is now sort of corrosive, creating a lot of deconstructing of my life? So are we willing to, and are we ready and able to let go of our attachment to any sort of alter personality or alter identity? Whew. So what if you can? What if you can? What if part of what we learn to do is to access the truth of who we are, the constant of ourselves, like our constant self, the being that we are, our infinite being, the spirit that resides within us? What if we have access to that spirit that lives within us, that is always perseverant, that is faithfully there, that is always available? And then all of the other ways that we identify ourselves, how we have decided what we are going to be like, how we want to be, who we want to be, what characteristics we want to be. What if that's all kind of like a gigantic menu and we can actually pick and choose? But many people have come to a conclusion that this is who I am, this is how I've always been, this is who I will always be. I can't ever be anything other than this. Nobody will let me. I won't let myself. It's not safe. I shouldn't. I can't. I won't. It's not allowed. And there's all these sort of ways that we get trapped in and alter identity. And so we just want to become untrapped. It's not to make any particular way that we choose to be right or that it's wrong. We just want to acknowledge that they're all available and we can follow what's going to create the greatest in our lives today, now, here, in this moment, currently, as opposed to what might have been necessary or what we had decided or thought we needed to be or what we were taught we needed to be once upon a time. So our personality is what constitutes us as an individual person, right? And so we all have our special qualities and our special gifts and our special talents and abilities. So we really do want to acknowledge our own personal personalities and what's the gift of us, not the wrongness of us, but the gifts of us. What is it that we are here as that we can contribute to the world? What is it that we're bringing here in amongst the many others that we encounter on a daily basis? And, what makes us special or unique and not like wrong or different or better than or less than or more than or greater than, but just knowing ourselves as a distinguished entity, energy that is who we are. And not holding on to any ways that we've maintained or perpetuated or continued on in such ways that we no longer actually would like to be or like to do. That's where the alter personality or identity, it's very well developed, and we've gotten very well versed at it and practiced at it, but it doesn't mean that is who we are. we can be anything we'd like to be. So who or what are you identified with? And are you ready or willing to be the you that you are pulled to be, guided to be, that you have been feeling like an intuitive push towards? What if there's something greater? What if there's a greatness within you that is just waiting for you to remember it, to reclaim it, to acknowledge it, to embrace it, and to allow yourself to be that, like radiate it out into the world and emanate that. So there's this whole idea of being sort of aligned with and agreeing with, kind of in like what they might call a covenant. It's like I have an agreement to be this person I've always been, except I don't like being that person I've always been. I'd like to be something different. And so we have to be willing to sever the ties to the covenants of who we used to be and all the alter selves, so that none of them own us. None of them have the power to control us. And then when we get back to that infinite sort of spirit that resides and dwells within us, who we truly are, and we get more of an in alignment, like in agreement with our spirit of our being, which is free, which is has infinite choice, which has access to the innate wisdom, and which has awareness and the ability to perceive all things and choose from a place of strength and courage. What if we have access to that, and that is more of the truth of who we are? So it's just a question of, am I connecting to a limited, finite, maybe sick or ill or unwell or unhealthy version of myself? Like the alter is the alter that I have connected with, creating pain and suffering? Or am I aligned with the unified energy of all things, the energy of all creation? Some will call that God. Some will call that the infinite source of energy, the quantum field, the spirit, chi, prana, life force energy. So there's many ways to call that, but it's pure potential energy, right? And when we have that backing us, and it provides whatever we need when we need it, we are walking through life more confident. We have more capacity to influence our own lives, and then help to influence others in benevolent ways, that we are helpful and caring towards others. We are able to be hopeful and kind and loving towards the people around us, and especially towards ourselves. So what are you aligned with? And can we allow ourselves to distinguish between any personalities or identities that we've held on to out of fear, and trust that being who we are is not the same as those developed personalities that have gone through life? For example, somebody who goes through life playing a victim, they think that if I just believe that I'm being victimized through my life by circumstances and people, somehow that helps me. Or if I go through life and kind of shame myself, that's a good thing. Or if I think that I should spend my whole life in a state of consciousness of feeling guilty or vindictive or angry and resentful. These are all well-developed personalities or identities, right? I'm just an angry person. I'm just I'm just a this kind of person, or I'm just a that kind of person, right? So if you've got any sort of I'm just a whatever kind of person, let's see if we can allow ourselves to sort of like let those be dissolve any bonds you have with those so that you are not bonded to these. And now you're any kind of person you'd like, and you're at infinite choice. Infinite choice to be guided by perhaps life and love and hope, kindness, this spiritual way of being where the being and how we be impacts our lives greater than the things that we think we're supposed to do, or how we're supposed to perform, the possessions that we're supposed to have, and how popular we're supposed to be. So what if none of that stuff defines who we are? They're just things we play with, people we play with, objects, things that we have that we can enjoy, but not need them to define who we are. We already know who we are. And when we know who we are, then we go out and we get to play with all these other people, places, and things from a position of strength and serenity, and a state of inner peace or inner calm and power. So the power that we need is within us. We don't have to go seek it outside of us. We don't have to go find power in all of those external ways that we have formerly tried to establish our power. So all those things outside of us do not prove that we have power. We already have the power within us. We just have to remember the power that already exists, that exists within us. And it doesn't come from anything that proves it from any external validations. It's already there. It's a done deal. So it's kind of like having an alignment with the truth of our innate power and our innate source of love, perhaps. So what if that's who we are? What if we are infinite power, infinite love, and infinite power and infinite love reside within us, and all the other stuff is somehow has been developed as our personalities or identities, but our personality and identity is very malleable, mutatable, and what's going to create the greatest for my life and the life of those around me today that I never allowed myself to choose before. So there you go. That's my thoughts for today. That's my thoughts for now anyways. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.